Listen to me, all guys need love and attention.
I did an interview with Don Randy of the Wrecking Crew. This is a famous guy. He was part of Phil Spector's Wall of Sound, with Ronnie Spector, do run, 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 do run, run. And Nancy Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., you name it, and Frank Sinatra. He did all of their, playing the piano with them and stuff. So I interviewed him. Okay. I go to make 4 separate interviews out of the one long one, and in only one of the interviews, we hear a dog barking. And I'm thinking, well, that's strange, because that exact day, my daughter had the dogs in the car because it was a pretty important interview. So I have no idea, and it was done in a restaurant, so there were no dogs there, but there was a dog there. It was barking. It was just strange. So, yeah, we get a lot of paranormal when we do interviews, that's for sure. Legends, my co-star is Lou Pizarro. Lou Pizarro starred in Operation Repo and quite a lot of films and different things. And both Lou and I support Operation Mobility. Operation Mobility helps service people right off the battlefield. Doesn't matter what country they're in, supports them and their families. So we support that. We got together because we support that. And next thing you know, Legends came about. I've been working on Legends over a year with my son. My daughter, I'll read some of it and she'll go, that sounds so stupid. And then my son will read it and go, you know what? I think if you switch the order around, it would just be a little more fluid. So we did. And what it's about, in brief, okay, is encountering legends and what they do and what we do when we encounter them. And that's all I can say about that, because that's we have executive producers and everybody who won't let you talk about it. Can't do that. We are working on the filming the promo for it end of this week, latter this week into next week. I go to the Comic-Cons, I go to the larger ones, and I go to the smaller ones. Sometimes I go and just cover it as Hollywood entertainment news for the Comic-Con owners, and I get to speak and interview and get positive messages from tons of celebrities. And it's funny because when they hear I'm coming, they all start, they get a hold of my management. Then they call me up and text me, you gotta come by my table, come by my table. So it's nice to be getting out there and being known for that. But the Queen of the Paranormal, it's trademarked. And what I do at my table is just a whole bunch of different things. Everything is different pictures, different everything. So when they come, they see a person who's not dressed the same all the time. They see a person that has different articles on the table and a whole bunch of new fun things to talk about in the paranormal. And plus, the usual reading or dowsing rod experience or something like that. So it's never a dull moment. And I often have quite a line at my table. And I remember working with a gentleman, he was quite known, and that's why I'm not going to say his name. And he's at the table next to me, and he sees this line at my table, and he looks at the poster, and he's like, I've never heard of you. And I smiled, and I said, well, all these other people have. And that was it. And then he was really nice to me after that.
That's a good one.
I actually do that at Comic-Cons. I do. I bring like a little amplifier with a microphone. I'm a singer. I graduated the Hayes Conservatory of Music, and this is in Worcester. It was part of the Art Colony School in Latham, New York, with Juilliard. And so I went there and I trained operatically. And I sang with Joe Cocker as a backup singer for a small stint of time. I took the stage with the Rolling Stones, Tom Jones. Bobby Vinton, Moja droga, ja cię kocham, all this stuff. And so I'm not shy when it comes to that. I've also sang on tributes for David Bowie. I've sang with Gary DiCarlo on stage. for the David Bowie tributes. And also sang with the monkeys. Everybody, yeah, just have a good old time with it. When you're at the Comic-Con, they have these concerts and you take the stage with everybody. It's great.
Oh my gosh, awesome.
I am a founder of the New England Music Hall of Fame, and we're having our first, I'm not going to say our first induction ceremony, but one in a building. We were doing it, online, and we were sending it to people or showing up where they, had a concert and presenting there. So this is the first one of its kind in an actual building. As far as I know, it's sold out, sorry. And we have a whole slew of people like posthumous. We have Donna Summer, and she's from the Boston area. And we also have people like Don Randy or Randy Eldman. We have both of those people because of the influence that they had on the New England music scene. Obviously, Don Randy with the Wall of Sound and all the people he knows, and Randy Eldman because he wrote the song A Weekend in New England, who Barry Manilow created a hit with. So it was all great. So it's going to be a fun night. That's going to be September 30th. And I'm going to be there. And I'm just going to have like a proud mommy, nurturing all this from its inception in 2018 until we started rock and rolling in 2019. And now we're here, 2023. Wow. Amazing.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, I just like to do a lot of stuff. Yes. But people ask me like, how can you do this? And I have a firm belief. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I was a designated driver long before it was chic, and that's what I do. I like to get up early, and I go to bed fairly early. Well, sometimes not. And I exercise, drink plenty of water. I run, lift weights. Have fun with my family mainly. But one thing that I do, and I tell people to do this, and they don't do it. They get off base. And what I do when I first started realizing all the things I wanted to do, and there weren't enough hours in the day, I would have a list. And I would put down what I needed to do, what I wanted to do, and I would give them a time frame. Okay, you're going to work on editing Stranded Paranormal for an hour and a half. Then you need to write a couple of emails. You've got 20 minutes. You can type. Just sit there and type the darn thing. And then you go down the list, down the list, down the list. And if you keep your constitution that way, follow it, you can get a heck of a lot done in like a short period of time. I do know with the editing, and I don't know if this happens to you, all of a sudden I'm editing and I start making mistakes. And at that point, I push away and shut it off. I just said, okay, I'm tired. So I try to limit myself to editing for maybe an hour and a half. That's about it. Then we go on to other projects, whether it's creating ideas, content providing for different magazines or Newsbreak on your phone, engaging with other movie producers around the world, things like that we have a time limit. When you're going to walk the dog, you're going to cook dinner, you're going to go grocery shopping. They're all in there, and I'm able to do it all and still have time to be with my kids.
You're amazing.
And that's what I blocked you off too on the list there. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's it. And so it becomes quite easy. It looks overwhelming, but if you realize something only takes 10 minutes, something 5 minutes, take the chicken out of the freezer and defrost it. 5 minutes, put it on a plate. So you have these things that you do, and they add up as the day goes on, and you just take advantage of that time. And if I'm not engaged in, my time stuff, I'm reading books. So I'm reading this book right here. this is a wonderful book. And then I'm going to interview the gentleman that wrote it. This is by Spencer Lane, and it is called First World Flight. And it is totally amazing. And it's a story about the gentleman that did the first world flight. And I highly suggest people try to get that book. They got it in audio form, but I'm going to read it. I'm about halfway there, and then we're going to interview him because he's slated for a movie. And this is all part of the press and being a media partner with 360 Studios Ltd. And what I provide, what they provide, and how we can help other people.
Wow. Great. You really are a global entrepreneur.
Oh.
You really are.
Yes, Veterans Green Coffee and the Veterans Green Initiative, that's all part of Operation Mobility. And they're all together, and I'm a media partner with them. I do the bumper commercials and other things too. They have, the coffee's fabulous, by the way. And so a bumper, for when people don't know, is probably about 15 seconds, 30 seconds, it's just quick little, boop, there you go. And I did the same thing with Nashville's Next Best of Three, and that came out wonderful. But what people don't realize about the Veterans Green Coffee or the Veterans Green Initiative, Veterans Green Coffee, they help people directly off the battlefield and their families. That's where that money goes. The Veterans Green Initiatives are disabled veterans rehabbing different products. Like my son said, what was it, months ago, I'm going to go to a department store, discount department store, and I'm going to get a laptop for $200. I said, no, don't do that. No. We're going to go to the Veterans Initiative. They were having a sale for $99. And the computer that my son got, you couldn't even pay $400 for. We got it for $99. It's amazing. And these are rehab by veterans. So it's well worth, to look into that and their programs. And that's why I'm such a great supporter of theirs, because they actually are spending the money in, a great way. You can go to veteransgreencoffee.com. And I believe from there, you're going to be able to go to all of the things that they do.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Hey, people fight for us. We should at least fight for them. And give back, and giving back has never tasted so good. That's one of the slogans.
What would you like to talk about? I might have.
What do I like about who?
Yeah, no. What did I say that maybe you want to talk about?
It's hard to understand what you're saying. Huh. Do I like?
No.
Like.
Is there something particular that you would like to talk about?
Oh, something I would like to talk about? Myself, of course. Oh my God. Stranded Paranormal is extremely exciting. Legends is going to blow your mind with the way we have it set up. We had it set up in 2 different versions, so that's what's so important about filming this promo. And also working with all of these fabulous people that the studio sent to me to do content providing or interviews on Skype like you're doing. And just, get to the crux of it and have it done in a positive, celebratory manner to celebrate them. That's extremely important. People work very, very hard in this industry, and a lot of people don't listen. They don't want to hear this stuff. Well, here we do. We want to hear it. We want to celebrate you, and we want to push your product forward. And so that's what I'm excited about all the time. And again, the love for my family. If I didn't have them as manpower behind me, it would not be pretty. I'm telling you. They're here all the time. We have dinner together, and even though they have their own places to live, we do have dinner. And on the weekends, every extra time we have, it's either business or we're hanging about or whatever. And they've always been like this, even since they were babies. So it's nothing new, nothing different, but it's good for them to see a product from the beginning, middle to the end. They can actually see it all the way through and have a hand in it. And that's what's good to lead them into adulthood, and then for them to teach their children.
Very nice. You're a very good.
People that want to learn more about me, they can go to 2 websites. We have hollywoodentertainment.com. We also have queenoftheparanormal.com. On both sites, they have interesting stories and different things. HollywoodEntertainmentNews.com, there's a tab that gets into the press that you can see all the different content providing media partners that we work with. And then on queenoftheparanormal.com, you can go in and purchase like comic books or donate to animal rescue, things that I do. Get into Facebook, Twitter, all of them, from there. And so I want you to join me at my websites, and that'd be really great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. Call me anytime.
And thank you for on the show. Thank you for doing the work that you do for people, animals.
Thank you. Bye.
Listen to me.
This new thing that call it what did you call it? With the signage.
Wait a minute, I'm a psychic. I'll figure it out. Now, we're talking about digital signage. Wait to do more. I'm excited every morning I get up. I have ideas, I write them down, and people have said to me, oh, that's impossible. And well, some of it is, but most of it is not. So you have to believe in yourself and go forward.